Welcome to the final video in the Drawing Essentials series. In this tutorial, I will cover how to draw lifelike hand poses. We're going to draw 5 new poses, and I will also explain the basics of the hand structure. So let's begin. Like with drawing anything, to draw hands you have to know what shapes go into it. I think hands are the most difficult because they look so unlike any normal shapes that you draw, like circles for heads or squares for bodies, but I have worked out a system that I think will make things a lot easier for you. So first we'll start with a square. This is going to be the main body of the hand. And this is going to be a hand open and facing us because that's pretty much the easiest. So the thumb is going to be right here, and this is where all the fingers are going to be. So first what we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 circles, one big one and one sort of ovally thing up here. And what these are going to be is the bottom of the palm, which is actually curved. It's not going to be like a square, and these circles will help us put in the lines that you see when your hand is open. So for now we'll just leave that blank and look at the fingers. The fingers are all different lengths, which sometimes makes things a little complicated, but basically it's going to be a cut-off triangle at the top of the square. And we just arrange the fingers, and as you can see, the pinky is really not getting as much space as the other fingers, but that's the way it's supposed to be, because normally the pinky is pressed up against this finger here, so we want it to look like that. Then the thumb is very thick, and it's going to come off from the top of this circle and come out to about where the top of the square is, and then curve down to the bottom of the hand. Also, something that we should probably cover is attaching the hand to the arm, so I'm just going to do that. As you can see, on this side it curves down from the thumb and then becomes straight, and on this side it's pretty much just straight right away. So there's the arm, and I'm just going to make that a different color because it's a sketch layer. And now let's go in and put in some detail. So these are the lines I was telling you about. If you look at the palm of your hand, you will see these 2 curving lines moving up from the thumb. And these, even if your character is very young, they'll usually have these marks. This just helps to convey which side of the hand we're looking at, so that we can know we're not looking at the top, but we're looking at the inside of the hand. Another tip is to draw the hands like you're drawing a robot's hand. If you Google old Transformers pictures, you should be able to find some of their hands which are laid out like this. And this shows how the fingers are segmented together, and it really makes things a lot easier to think of it as like robotic fingers that are supposed to look all jointed like this. So now that I have the fingers here, I've selected their lengths, and I'm going to draw them up. While you can just have them come down as a straight line, I usually like to add some curving. So once I have sketched them in, I'm going to add a little bit of curving. I think it makes the hand look a lot more natural, because it will curve inward whenever it meets a joint. We really want these hands to look super natural. So the palm of the hand is a little big here. That's the benefit of working in a digital program. You don't have to erase and start over. You can just resize everything. So yeah, that's very good. So if you have a digital program, you might want to try your learning to draw process on it instead of on a piece of paper. I find that it's a lot more precise. Okay, we no longer need that, and actually I'm gonna bring it back for just a minute so that I can see where to put the bottom of the hand. Okay, now let's put in the curves. There's a joint here, so I come in and then I come back out, and the same on the other side. And I'm not going to be adding a lot of curves, and I'm not going to be making them too defined either. They're going to be just barely there. And you see these parts where the fingers come together? These we're going to have come down to a point here, and then we're going to add these curving lines, which would be more defined on the front of the hand, but they can be a little bit visible when the hand is open as well. And now I'm going to adjust the curve that goes into the thumb. The hand actually comes in a little more than I had it previously, so I'm going to change that. And I'm going to change the thumb also. That was mostly a placeholder. As I said before, we have this circle here where the first part of the thumb comes off, and then we have the second part of the thumb. So let's erase those lines. And as you can see, this is actually kind of sloppy, but this is just the basic idea of the hand structure before we get into these poses. So don't get worried, I'm not going to be making gorilla hands. This is just so that you can see how the hand is built. And I'm actually going to put in the structure again, just so that you can remember. We have a square here, we have a circle here, and another one here. We have the two segments of the thumb, and we have the fingers. So there's our basic hand, and I'm just going to put that to the side and then hide it. And now we can start looking at those 5 hand poses I talked about. So I'm actually not going to be talking all the way through this tutorial. I'm going to do the first hand, at least, with a little bit of talking. We're just going to have like the hand open, as if it was being placed against someone's face. So I'm just going to do a little bit of sketching here. And the thumb is going to be on this side, so it's not visible. And then we have a finger here, one here, and as you can see, the poses of these fingers are really quite varied. And then one here, and we round the palm out and come down to the arm. So that's the basic there, the basic idea. And now I'm going to go through and refine it. The thing to notice here is that the fingers actually fan out. This one is going in this direction, and slowly they all start to go in an arc outwards. And having them placed at different angles like this really breaks up the monotony of rows and rows and rows of fingers, so you might want to try something like this. So now I'm just going to clean the fingers up a little, because I really scribbled these in pretty fast, and I want it to look a lot smoother than this. And after I clean them up, I'm probably going to adjust the size of this hand. So as you can see, what we have here is the basic outline that I showed you. We have the square for the hand, and because this hand is at an angle, the square is going to be stretched and moved around a little. We have the circle, and the other circle is obscured because the thumb is not visible. And then we have the fingers. And this is actually the back of the hand, so we're going to have nails here, just to make things a little clearer. And the segments of this hand are this, this, and this for that finger. And I'll just put in the others. And yes, the pinky does have the same number of segments as the other fingers, but just to keep things simple, I'm only going to put in one. And the bottom of the hand and where it attaches to the arm. So that is it for the first hand, and I'm going to shrink it and put it with the others, and for most of the rest of this video it's just going to be time-lapse, so you can see how I draw hands. So let's do it. Alright, that is it for this video. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video series. If you haven't watched the other videos in the Drawing Essentials series, they are right here, and I think you'll really like them. I go step by step in a lot of really good tips for drawing things like poses and backgrounds and foreshortening, so check them out. And don't forget to share this video and subscribe. And thanks for watching.